Hi, everybody. I hope that you each had a fantastic weekend. I wanted to share a little bit more information that walked you through this deconstruction syllabi template. And I grabbed one of Heartland's syllabi, and I just wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about how you can use this tool. So I've already gone through and copied and pasted things over because I decided watching me copy and paste things over wasn't particularly interesting. But I wanted to talk through each of the categories and where you can find them on your syllabi. So this first category is competency. And what that is asking you is what competencies do your syllabi align to? And so here at Heartland, we have our syllabi and the competencies on the syllabi aligned to program outcomes. And program outcomes are something that are utilized for ICCB program review. You, as I mentioned during the meeting, if it's not something you have placed on your syllabi, just ignore that category. But even with that said, even though we have them listed here as our program outcomes, I could see, okay, a competency that is focused on within this course is IRE1. So what I would do is take IRE1, copy it, and paste it over. And then the second category here that it's asking is current course placement. And current course placement just refers to what course is IRE1 placed within. And so if I scroll up, I can see that it's within my 103 syllabus. And this is really going to help me know where are all my competencies, what level are they at, and now we're going to get into what content is associated with them. So program outcomes we're skipping. And then if we go over here to course objectives / learning outcomes, and course objectives and learning outcomes are common nomenclature across community colleges and universities. And typically one or the other is utilized. So here, what I want to do is that all my learning outcomes, and this is my category of learning outcomes, every single learning outcome that is associated with IRE1, I want to take and I want to copy it over into this column. And you can see I copied over a couple of them, but you get the main idea. By the end, I would have copied 1, 2, 4 of them over before I got over to IRE2. So this next column is course description. And with regard to the course description, what you want to focus on is what aspects of the course description align to IRE1. And so you'll see I went through and bolded this a little bit. So it might say course description, it might say catalog description, but this is the section on your syllabus that describes the course. So here you can see that I bolded, IRE1 describes the role of the environment in supporting children's development. And so over here, I'm looking at supportive contexts within which young children can develop and thrive. I'm really thinking about the environment there. So I know that I'm going to copy that part over. But also, if I look at this first sentence, there's some of that that really seems aligned to IRE1 as well. Not all of it, but I'm going to copy that first sentence. And here I bolded the word environments. One of the reasons I'm doing this, if I have this row that has all the information that's associated with a competency, including a breakout of the course description, and then I'm thinking about constructing new courses from that, I can take that aspect of the course description to make the child syllabi from that parent. So I can think about how to break it up in that way. The next question is detailed outline. Detailed outline might very much vary from your master and your student syllabus. If we look here on Heartland's syllabus, we see at the bottom, here's a detailed outline. Some of the ways that it would differ from a student syllabus, I would have dates, I would have more information regarding content, I would have a list of all the resources, etc. But here I copied over the content that was associated with Module 1. Module 1 seems aligned to IRE1, but then if I look There's several other aspects that seem aligned to IRE1 as well. Environmental design, for example, materials, for example, anything related to the environment, I'm going to think about in the context of IRE1. Over here, learning resources. In this case, I would have to go to the student syllabi to find and copy over all the related learning resources that are associated with IRE1. And then range of assessment methods. I just wrote the word copy here, but you can see that when I look at method of evaluation, test exams and grading systems, there's the IRE level 2 competency assessment is required, but there's also writing assignments, applied activities. And so this information for this column I would get from both that master syllabus as well as the related student syllabus. Finally, level is reflected on the gateway's credentials. So what level? Remember how I mentioned that tornado diagram that's included in the PowerPoint resources I sent to you, that is very much going to be your friend. What I would do is I would look up IRE1 and I could look at that tornado really easily. And I would say, you know what, that's a level 2 competency. So just from this row, were I to have copied over everything, which I didn't, I would know that IRE1 is in child 103. Those are the learning objectives that are associated with it. Here, had I fleshed this all out, would be the content associated with it. Here in bold are the aspects of the course description, as well as some surrounding context that are associated with that. I would have the range of assessment methods had I copied that over, and I would know it was a level 2 course. So I'm going to go back and look again and see what other competency is included in this course, and it's IRE2. So when I'm looking at the syllabi deconstruction, I'm going to do the exact same thing for IRE2, where I'm going to break out what the syllabus is. I'm going to look again at that course description, but I'm going to think about, you know what? I don't want to include the stuff that I said was associated with IRE1. So I'm either going to italicize it or remove it from that description. I'm going to want to make sure that I copy over each of the learning outcomes that are associated with IRE2 and go through the course outline and other information. I'll just briefly mention to you so that it's not confusing that the second column is essential competencies and is something that we're required to have on all our syllabi at Heartland for alignment with regard to accreditation. So I hope that gives you a little bit more information. Once you've broken everything out, you can see where all your competencies are, where they're arranged by level, and what opportunities for modularization might exist. So when I look at this course, you know what? Both these competencies are at level 2. If I wanted a 1 competency per course arrangement, I could look at modularizing that further. If, for example, I had looked at a syllabus that had level 2, 3, and 4, and 5 competencies in them, I would start to think about, well, what would happen if I made a child course out of, with, you know, that 2, 3, 4, and 5 being the parent, if I made a modularized course out of that only had the level 2 competencies. And if I did that, I'd have to create another course that had those 3, 4, and 5 competencies in it. So we have the parent course that could potentially be 2 courses, but we have to make sure that whatever we create from that master course is equivalent to that master course, that we represent all those competencies so that we have a whole pathway for learners. We'll talk about that more in detail when we get to constructing syllabi and pathways. But right now, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about those columns in deconstruction and why they're of particular importance and kind of direction with all of this. So I hope that was helpful. Please reach out at any time with any questions. And again, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you.